Good morning, good morning. I do realize some of you are not convinced about Facebook groups, or if you have got one, it seems to be a little problematic. So today, creating a thriving Facebook group. What I want to share with you, first of all, is reasons it is so effective within the Meta stable. Meta being the overreaching company of Instagram, Threads, Facebook. Probably the most amazing stat of all is 1.8 billion people belong to groups. So people understand joining a group. It's not that you have to educate people and explain to them why they need your group. The greatest thing of all is Facebook gives priority to group content. So it has higher organic reach. We know that our page's reach has gone down tremendously, and that is probably, if you think about it, largely to force us to spend ad spend to get our content seen. But our content marketing tip is here is you have to create content that is engaging and try to get people to respond. When people respond with a reaction or a comment or a share, your reach increases. The thing that is really important about groups is the interaction. It is easier to interact, to engage in a group than it is on your page or any other platform. It is amazing to me here, if we talk about 5.2% reach being the average for pages these days, good groups tend to have up to 80%. Now you've got to imagine a big group with lots of membership, that kind of engagement is phenomenal. So that in itself should be a stat that's making you think, okay, so how can I do this? I've mentioned the prioritization. You will see in the top of your news feed when you get your notifications, group posts are shown there. So-and-so has added to the group. I know when I update the Content Marketing Kaizen group that there's a notification that says Content Marketing Kaizen has posted. Higher conversion rates. This is the really important part. You know the thing about know, like, and trust. And when people trust you enough, they take the next step to buy. Convert in whatever conversion objective you've got. Groups have a higher conversion rate. Why? Because you've built a relationship with them. Not just because they're in a group. So be clear on that. You have to work at building that community relationship. It is very interesting that 74% of creators, so serious Facebook marketers, use groups. So here's some proof. These are groups that I follow, very good groups to learn from. Some of them you can't join. For example, the first one I'm showing is members only. But the point I'm making here is I learn from these groups as well. So my business mentor is James Wedmore. I bought his program in 2002, I can't remember now. He is an online business strategist and coach, and he has this group to support his members. It is dedicated to sharing resources, tips, experiences, and so on. He's got 6 coaches who also are available to help members. Anybody in there can go and start a conversation. You can share results and say, what did I do wrong? You can share programs and how can you help? When I'm stuck with something, the first thing I do is go and ask a question there, and somebody will come back with a valuable answer. So as I'm talking through these, think about how you can use these kinds of strategies within your group. So the key features are support and guidance. Exclusive content, that is absolutely key. There is no point having identical to everywhere else. So I share a lot of my coaching tips and so on to my groups from my page because page reach is low. That is adding value, but it's not exclusive content. Things like the replay of these go into the groups. That is where people get exclusive content. Success stories, celebrations, all these things help build up people, increase hope, motivate people, and of course, live events and engagement groups like we are having here today. So it works because James himself is putting his energy into it. He is present. When you tag him, he responds. You can tell by the voice and tone he's using, it's not one of his people. Another one, if any of you are doing Facebook ads, this is my go-to group to learn and ask questions about Facebook ads. Ben Heath is a British guy. He is very, very vibey, very interesting, very motivated, very energetic, an absolute genius with Facebook ads. So he has a company that does Facebook ads, and his objective with this group is to upsell. So it is a private group. So you have to ask to join, fill in the questions, but you can search for it. For any of you who are a little bit stuck on why Facebook ads aren't working, how to target, which objective to set, everyone's asking those questions in there. It makes for very interesting lessons and quick tidbits. You get the most amazing tips. But again, you'll learn plenty on how a successful group works. I mean, look at this, 256k members. His is very much about part of his customer journey, free to join, but next steps are his paid steps. Then, just as another example, because community groups are one of the most effective groups on Facebook, I Love 4Ways is an example of a very successful community group. Granted, it's BHC, so that I like. They're making money out of it, but they charge you to post an ad. The group is not inundated with ads. So that's a thing you must think about when you set up the rules for your page. There's a fine line between posting your post to show your content and to ask for feedback on how the post looks versus simply posting something on there that can be seen as a promotional post. I don't allow promotional posts in that group. It's not that kind of group. It's also very important for you to be clear right up front. Your members have the expectation on what they can share and can't share. Many successful groups give people a day where they can self-promote, which is another way of looking at it. So you can say to people, Thrive Thursday, do a promotional post if you have got that kind of group. But be very wary and be very consistent and strict about what may and may not appear in your group, because you'll very quickly lose control. BHC, very much about local community. I love it as a group to ask for referrals, to ask for advice, to confirm a credible service before I engage. Why do you need this, folks? That's the question on all your minds. First of all, it's that trust building opportunity for your audience. We've said a million times. Whilst you have just got followers, you actually don't have a relationship. They are not loyal. They are pretty fickle and will move or will stop engaging and might not even realize they don't see your content if they stop engaging. A group is that place where you actually get much closer to those people, where you can now start recognizing people by name. You start getting a sense of how people engage. It's a very important part of online marketing where people don't necessarily get to know you face to face, but they get to know you digitally and get to know, like, and trust you. That is one of the primary objectives and goals you should have in your mind when you are setting up your group. This is the place to build trust. A very important point, and important for you, and wear the hat. We all need to build our reputations, and this is a fantastic place to build yourself as a thought leader. But your content has to show that you're a thought leader. What is thought leader content? If you are in Content Marketing Kaizen, you will by now know you regularly get prompted to, today you share thought-provoking content, and here are tips on how to do it. And then once you've done this, you know which posts are the type of posts you should be sharing to your group or should be creating specifically for your group. We've talked about higher organic reach. Because the algorithm prefers group content, And remember the objective, the reason Facebook exists. Right from day one, Zuckerberg invented Facebook as a place for people to engage and interact, for friends and colleagues to talk to each other. That is still the primary objective of Facebook. If you are just promoting, you're going against the core principle of Facebook. It is to build community. So that makes sense then. Why do they favor groups? Because it's part of their basic strategy. However, a caveat and important to note is that members can set notification settings. Just like WhatsApp, they can mute a group. They can mute notifications. So it's part of your task to train your group members to set notification settings, take them through a little tutorial and say to them, set your notifications to get my updates so that you don't miss anything. And of course, if you post valuable content, they're going to want it. If you post rubbish, they are going to stop following you and at very worst, leave the group. The most important part for me, it's a space for nurturing leads. Cast your mind back to our conversion funnel. We use all means possible, online, offline, networking, referrals, online events, whatever it might be, to get people into the top of your funnel. At the top, your job is, once people come in, to get their attention with great content, with awesome visuals, and to get their interest by the type of content you share. Once they get here to the middle of the funnel, engaging and building your trust is critical to get them to convert. And a group falls right in here in the type of content that provides reassurance, that gives a connection. I hope you can see that you need groups in the middle of your conversion funnel, irrespective of what business you are in. At the end in discussion, we can talk about ideas on how you can start your group and how you can implement this middle funnel strategy. Exclusive offers, your group and your email list, there I am again, your email list, your WhatsApp, are more likely to engage, to take the next step than anywhere else. This is where you make your offers. Your exclusive content and exclusive offers on Facebook, unless you throw money to promote them, are probably wasted, and people who find you for the first time are unlikely to buy. Just to reiterate that point with regard to ads and boosted posts, my recommendation is to advertise and boost content that is already working on your page, and then boost it for engagement or for profile views. Brand new offers and exclusive content are very unlikely to sell unless you've got a huge engaged following and you've got a big reputation. People need trust before they buy. One of the easiest things to work with is the direct customer engagement aspect of groups. And there are lots of tools to help you engage with your audience. Typically, from the content planner, asking questions, offering support, getting involved in conversations, that kind of thing is very important for your organic reach and building the community. But other ways to build engagement is to vary your post formats, and you have got some formats in the group that are exclusive, like polls. Polls have been removed from Facebook pages. They were in their day. I've no idea why they were removed, because they were so valuable. You know how good polls are on LinkedIn. So use them in your groups to get information, to get engagement. Have fun with them as well as ask serious questions. You can add files and guides to a group. So it's a great way of document sharing, of sharing value. And then there's ways you can build the community by the various at mentions. So we call these things at mentions, where you can say things like a group admin can mention at everyone once per day to draw attention to a post. Now, we spoke briefly last week at followers and using at everyone. You need to be very careful how you use it so you don't put people off. I said at the minute in our page, I have given the courtesy of following because I was asked to follow, and I'm following because it's the right thing to do. Start tagging at followers every single day. I unfollow because the content is rubbish. Be very, very top of mind about if you are tagging at everyone, at followers, quality is key. Add huge value. You will train your audience to go, oh, I've been tagged, I better go and check what I'm missing out on. The other at mentions that are available, I just want to cover here, is you can also at mention a group. So your groups can at mention my group. That is also a very good way, but you don't want to spam the group. So once again, be careful. At friends, just for you guys for personal content. Don't add friends with business content. Your friends are not necessarily interested in your business. And you can also highlight, so if you've got a really exciting post, an anniversary, a good news or something like that, you can highlight friends. These are to do with groups, but I just thought it would be valuable to mention those little at mentions if you're not already using them. And in the coaching, I say at mention, so learn that term. Pinned posts, we already pin posts on our pages. Pinned posts on your group are a great way to highlight something at the top of the news feed. It stays there until you unpin it. So take a note of it. If you've got a pinned post and it's expired, it looks like you're not paying attention to what's happening on your group. You've also got a featured tab at the top of the group, and you can feature many posts, which then get added into that featured section, which sits above the news feed. Evergreen content, so things you don't have to keep removing from featured, and various announcements that are key to your group. Right, group events, naturally, we all know Facebook events work. But within your group, arrange special events. Group challenges really work for engagement. Think about a 30-day challenge. It's a great way to engage your group and get activity going. We mentioned files and resource sharing. Such a good bucket to put important content. What does irritate me about the files and resources? You can't share a video and files in the same post. So that's a bit irritating. If I wanted to share the files, it would be like a post just with the following documents have been shared. It would be lovely to have a video and the worksheet with it. One of your greatest things is just to encourage people to share thoughts and ideas, and of course you've got to stay vigilant and respond promptly. Some of the tools to help you do that is polls. You can ask me anything posts, AMA posts, start Q&A sessions, do live Q&As. Very valuable for building engagement within your group. The other part of groups that's fantastic is your guidelines and your moderation. You can automate all these. Your group members don't necessarily know, but when you set up your group, you can set up moderation, you can set up for profanity, sales posts, whatever, and your Facebook group alerts you to these or blocks things until you unblock them. Very, very good way to manage content, especially when your group gets big and busy. Group rules, I'm going to show you in a minute when we give you the setup steps, how you can set up the group rules. They have standard rules. I like to change the wording a bit. You can click on it and edit it. Post approval, you can set it to each post needs to be approved, or they can post, but you always have the option, as I said, with promotional posts in my groups, I go and remove the post. And when you remove the post, it gives you the option to say to the person who posted, this has contravened the following rule, or please don't do this in future, or whatever. And then you've got also banning and warning features. So it's very easy to maintain a really good quality engagement and good standards on your group. And then you've got insights. We always say you can't improve anything that's not measured. You check your insights, you can see who's active, you can see which posts are popular and learn from that. Do more of those. There are 3 types of groups: private, secret, and public. Private groups are fantastic for nurturing leads, as I showed you with Ben, his Facebook group. My KISS, Keep It Simple Suze group, is one of those groups. You join by asking questions or asking to join. I use it as a lead magnet. So one of the joining questions is to give me your email. The moment I'm doing it manually, I take that email and add it to my mail list. You could work out a way to automate that with Zapier or some other automation tool. But the point is, it's a very, very good lead magnet to help people take the next step with you. This is now to help you choose which group is right for you. Strikes the perfect balance between exclusivity and discoverability. People can search and find your group, but they have to ask to join, which means you can manage the quality of the people you are joining. The other lesson there is you can see who you are attracting. If you're not attracting your ideal customers, you know your content is not hitting that spot. It's exclusive but discoverable. It's for more targeted people, and it's fantastic for better engagement. The thing with a private group, and you see so many people say, I can't share your post. When a private or a secret group, you cannot share the posts because people are posting in a safe place. So if you're wondering why your posts are not shareable, that is why. It's in a private group, or you see somebody else's posts and you can't share it. And moderation to join the group is required. You can also, just caveat there, you can invite people to join the group and then they don't have to go through the hoops. They can just join. Then secret groups. My Content Marketing Kaizen is an example of a secret group. You cannot search it. It is what the gurus use for paid programs, masterminds, and coaching. Exactly what I am emulating here. It's for people who are paid coaching members or who have paid for coaching in the past or who have done a course or coaching with me in the past. It's complete privacy, so completely safe place. It builds a strong sense of exclusivity, but it can't be discovered. So it's very hard to grow. You have to tell people how to find it. There's no organic growth opportunity, and it's very restricted. And then many of you might consider public groups which are just out there, like your local I Love group that isn't a BHC group. You can just join the group. You just click and you join. Fantastic for discoverability, easy to share the content, but you have very limited control. So be aware of that. The people have a lack of privacy, so they'll be less inclined to share. Because it grows faster, it's harder to build that connection, that intimacy, to get the community going.